Hello, everyone. Welcome to this special episode of the Made in MB podcast. I'm your host today, Dr. Brett Jacobsen, the current CEO and head of school at Mount Vernon. And I have the opportunity and privilege to sit down with the current head of upper school at Mount Vernon, Kristy Lundstrom, and we discuss the future of MB leadership. So enjoy.
Brett, you have served our community as CEO and head of school for 13 years. And what a journey.
Yes.
What sticks out to you? What stands out?
You know, I think that there are so many aspects to that journey, but when I arrived in 2009, it was the Great Recession. And so welcome to the Atlanta economy. And we'd only had, I think, our second graduating class. So it made me think of, we had been known for so much time in the city around this preschool, aid school. And so just trying to build a high school in a good economy is a challenge, but to try to do that in a struggling economy in Atlanta was certainly even a greater challenge. And I really give credit to those families in the early days. I have such an affinity for them because they just stuck with it. And so I think of the Kolbs and the Fishers and the Barcliffs and even the Corleys. Just think of these families who have been here for such a long period of time and just remain committed to support it and keep their kids here. And that commitment has really allowed us to go from this sweet little school in Sandy Springs, Georgia, to this school that has such a national reputation, especially around innovation. And so, at the time, I remember a story from Chick-fil-A. And speaking of an Atlanta-based, company, just really thinking about how there was, at the time, Boston Market was the competitor for Chick-fil-A, and people were sitting around the boardroom and saying, we should open a store here, we should open a store there. And I guess Mr. Cathy stood up at the moment and kind of pounded his fist on the table and said, as we get better, our customers will demand that we get bigger. And so, you know what? We just continue to be committed to getting better as a school, regardless of the economy. And our customers, our parents, just demanded that we continue to get bigger. And so with that, we were 740 students over a decade ago, and now we're at more than 1,200 students here at the school, from preschool through 12. And through that, our students have been able to go to top colleges around the country. We've developed, as I said, this national reputation as far as innovation in independent schools. Our accreditation has been, unbelievable. We've been able to compel just great educators from around the country and throughout the world. And speaking of, you're newer to the school. You arrive at a particular moment as part of this journey. What has compelled you to come to Mount Vernon?
Well, actually, I would say you have an international reputation because I come almost directly from Sweden. And as a school leader there, we were thinking about how to build brave learning spaces with innovation at the center. So take an idea to action. And we started looking for schools to bench learn from.
Interesting.
And Mount Vernon was the one I found. And I just began stalking you nearly online. But to also hear the stories, to see the examples, and to follow the thinkers who were here and begin to model some of our practices where we were, consider would it work in our context. And the more I leaned in, the more I learned. I interviewed for a position here, and I heard the commitment of the people you're talking about. I met families who were like, this is really an exciting place. Grounded in community values, but also committed to we can do it better. We can get better. We can do more. Very brave. And I love that word brave. So I everything I heard got me more and more excited. And so this opportunity came and here I am.
And we're grateful for it.
Thank you.
Certainly.
And I wonder now, from last March, when the board announced that you will shift to work only as our CEO, I don't say away from school, but as a key leader, what will that be like? What's your next step? How does it feel?
Yeah, it's interesting when you've been doing something for such a long period of time, and that shift of leadership has changed from the moment of walking into the school
I can imagine.
to what it is now. And with the growth of the school, the complexity has just gotten greater sort of over time. And as you know, we have launched Mount Vernon Ventures a number of years ago, and that is basically a research and strategy lab. It's a consulting arm of the school. So in other words, what attracted you to Mount Vernon and even hearing the school, we've consulted with schools all around the United States as they want to learn more about what we're doing at the school. And at the same time, we have clients internationally. We have a client right now in Vietnam, and they're wanting to incorporate our curriculum into what they're doing at the school. And that has become a major client for the school. Or, we like to say we're a private school with a public purpose. And so we love working with public and private schools inside the city and outside the city. So Fulton County has been a client of the schools and of the school, and we have certainly invested into that public school community as well. And so there are just so many more opportunities that we're not able to even keep up with because we haven't built enough capacity around it. So much of my time as CEO, shifting away from the day-to-day, managing the day-to-day activities of the school is really going to be solely focused on vision and strategy and really new revenue opportunities that Mount Vernon Ventures is going to be able to provide. So in other words, we're going to scale that impact over time. And just know, for our community is that all money raised from Mount Vernon Ventures as we consult with other schools is actually a reinvestment back into our teachers and our students right here at the school. So it's just a great opportunity to continue to expand our influence and our reach well beyond the walls of the school. But at the same time, we reinvest back into the great teaching and learning and the great teachers that are coming to the school and the students who are so engaged in innovative work. So it's just this full circle in what we're doing. And so that's a significant part of what I'll be doing and shifting away from the day-to-day. So speaking of the day-to-day, I've asked you to join me in partnering with me in taking over the day-to-day. So I've asked you to be the next head of school here at Mount Vernon while I'll serve in a capacity of Chief Executive Officer, and asking you to partner with me. I think you're going to be as much a strategic partner, even more than managing the day-to-day, but we certainly have asked you to do that. So tell us about that opportunity and how does that feel, and working at schools around not just here in the United States, but well beyond that, because originally you're not from Sweden, although you came from here. So tell us a little bit about that story, but also what's exciting about this opportunity and this journey.
Well, I'm definitely honored to be asked to be head of school. This is an opportunity that is exciting. I can learn, I can contribute, and I can partner with so many great people, students, teachers, parents. And I see Mount Vernon as a great fit for me. I am from Alabama, so I am actually not too far down the road, but I've lived most of my adult life overseas. I have been working in Stockholm, Sweden in a school system called the Victor Rydberg Foundation. And we had 7 bilingual schools and we were able to grow those. We now have 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so
you were the head of school over those schools?
I served as head of one of the high schools and then moved into the head of school role, the superintendent role.
Gotcha.
And helped and worked with our school leaders and our teachers to build. And we were very focused on creativity, communication, critical thinking. And these ideas are very central to innovation. So we aligned very well with what Mount Vernon stands for. And as I worked there, I got to see things in the Nordic and Scandinavian curriculum that are so powerful, engaging, learning, empowering the student to be an advocate for themselves. Students are taught to take responsibility, to go from one idea but make it have impact. So many things paralleled well. And I also saw the opportunity to watch how global activity, global partnerships, connections really enrich the learning. And from there, I went to the Scandinavian School in Brussels. It's a K-12 school. It was where I got to really lean in and learn about lower school and lower campus and watch kids learn to read and write and watch those sparks in the very beginning of their learning journey. I also learned about well-being, active learning, being outside, the value of play. I learned a lot by watching really talented teachers and leaders help their kids. That was also a boarding school.
Oh, okay.
So I say boarding because we're not a boarding school.
Right.
But we do believe that community is important, and I do too. Relationships are foundational. That is alive and well at Mount Vernon. That was alive and well in those schools as well.
Nice.
I've been home for a period of time,
Yeah.
worked at the Alabama School of Fine Arts, where we were a pre-professional school. I really got to learn about the arts. I'm a scientist myself, but I got to learn about the art, also boarding. Again, community was at the heart of all the organization. In a way, I feel like I'm coming home.
Yeah.
But I'm also in a place where I feel like I can leverage my learning to really empower the kids here. Couple of things in my recipe, ambitious students, caring and competent teachers, supportive parents, trustful relationships. And I see that here every day. So I'm really excited.
Well, I love the eclectic sort of experiences that you have, and maybe just bringing all of those with your experience here, not only this year as the head of upper school, but as you transition into the head of school beginning next year. And that is exciting. I'd have to say, in the 3 executive searches that we conducted last year, in really searching for those specific roles, it was so interesting in the pool of all of those searches, how the future head of school sort of emerged, from that. And certainly it has been so affirming since you have arrived, and just being able to partner with you. Now, I know that anyone that may be watching this is thinking about, the upper school, we just shifted to you and getting comfortable with you and your leadership, and that's so great, and really engaging with the community, students, parents, and teachers. And so now we're going to transition again. But I think the two of us in particular have really, that has been the forefront of our mind as making any sort of transition like this. So speak to how you feel like that should move forward, and the appointment of a leader moving forward.
Well, first of all, we're a team. We are a team. You and I are partners. We team together, but the upper school is led by a dynamic team. And I believe we strengthen each other. We multiply the strengths of each other. And I will continue to work on the upper school team, even when I'm head of school. And I have the benefit of working here for a year to learn the people, to monitor and observe how we use our resources, to see where we are excelling and amplify that. But also know where we need to work harder and improve. And, part of my role as head of school is to be the storyteller. And I want to tell the stories of upper school. But I have to make sure that the day-to-day of upper school is well cared for. And so luckily, we have identified the perfect leader. She's been with us for 3 years. She has shepherded the upper school through several challenges and exciting times. She's watched change happen, and that's Trish Bogdanchik. She has a long history of leadership and education in different settings, which is very enriching.
Internationally and
internationally, yes. She's also been working in Poland and in different areas, and that's very exciting because that brings this diverse perspective. And I'll work closely with that team. She already knows all the kids. She already knows many of our families. And I would say to families, I'm not going far. I'm going across the green. And I'm going to work with middle school, and I'm going to work with lower school, and I'm going to work with upper school. So and
don't forget those preschoolers.
Little preschoolers.
Well, and I think that what I'm going to find is find you getting all these hugs.
I know.
You're just going to steal my hugs from all those little kids, because just working with them and engaging with them and building those muscles so early from preschool all the way through, you really see. I say preschool teachers really see the fruit of that labor as they start their adventure into the upper school. So I think Trish could not be a better choice to maintain, continuity and stability. She has been such a stable force and just a strong rapport with students, parents, and even in this situation, most importantly, our faculty and staff.
Absolutely.
And so I think that is a tremendous appointment, and just really going to be able to continue on, and that partnership is going to be so strong. I think that's part of what I'm most excited about in this season of change and transformation is really what you talked about of being a multiplier. And I believe the strength of this team and the strength as you work with Leah Nestor in the middle school, and of course Trish in the upper school, and then Shelley Searcy, the head of the lower campus. I think the strong relationships you've already cultivated with them only speaks well, I think, of you, but it also speaks to the strength of that partnership. And I think at the end of the day, this is a school, we like to talk about, we are a school of inquiry, innovation, and impact. And ultimately what we know is that we are trying to set the conditions for this generation of students, not our generation of students. Yeah. We had our shot in a preschool through 12 sort of environment, but we get the most amazing opportunity to partner with a generation of parents and a generation of students to set the conditions for them to not only have an exciting journey while they're here, but to excel well beyond that. And that could not be more gratifying and more meaningful and purposeful for a group of educators, but just people who really care about students and are also trying to impact people even well beyond the walls where we reside at 471 and 510 Mount Vernon every single day. So thanks for joining me in this conversation. I think there are going to be many opportunities for the community to...
I'll be in carpool.
Oh, and homecoming is coming up.
Homecoming's coming up.
So I think there will be plenty of opportunities throughout the year as you engage with parents and teachers and students. And just really looking forward to really standing to some degree, while in the arena with you, but standing aside to watch the impact that you're going to have on this community. I could not think of a better person right now at the right time to really engage with our community in a way that they deserve, and they're going to benefit so much from it. So thanks for joining me to share this with our community.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
Thank you for listening. Subscribe to Made in MV to learn how we do what we do at the Mount Vernon School and why.